Okay, this is going to be the Space Invaders game part 5, I think. So now there was a little splash screen when we started up, and there's like some terms and conditions. So this is almost ready to be released. The thing that I haven't quite finished is I haven't made the installers, but they shouldn't take too long. So I'm hoping to, when I post this video, to actually have a link to the website where you can download this version. But we're going to go through and just do another test of everything by trying to work on a Space Invaders game. So if I do that, we've got this thing so far. We haven't actually got our Space Invaders title yet. Click on start and we can move. I'm going to turn the volume down because I don't want to hear that. So we've got this. Now there's one major thing. I think we can, this is not going to be a very good game, but I think we have to finish it off just by doing a few more scene things and exporting it. And of course the main, what happened then? Well, there's a bug there. You can still shoot on the title screen. So we'll fix that in a second. Probably in the same way that I'm going to add the last feature. Why did it actually die? Like what just happened then? What was the thing that caused it to go back to the title screen? I hadn't. Oh, it just did that. Oh, I know why. Because we did not do. From the last time we were working on this, we had a very weird looking thing. Lots of print statements. Broadcast move down. If the is equal to 0. Alright, so we're going to come back and we're going to end this. Oh, by the way, I have changed the command for going to a new scene to go to. I might keep going. It's just that go is a command that's used in the Go language. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to use go in this thing, I don't think, but it's better to use a keyword that's not a good thing to use in other languages. So go to is a command that you can use in some languages, but nobody wants you to do it that way. But so encouraging you to use it in a slightly different way in this language might be useful. So anyway, we'll fix that. So now we actually have to kill everything. We'll come back to the end game. But the thing that I'm worried about, of course, and if you've been watching this, you'll be like, but you can't actually hit the player. So we've got a few things. The player can still shoot when they're on the title screen. Not a good look. I can I actually... I can't actually shoot. That's an interesting bug. So when I go back to the title screen, I think this is indicating there is a severe problem with the code that stops everything when you change scenes, which is not a thing I'm going to fix to a release, because that might be a little bit of work. It might not be. It might be quite straightforward. But I'm thinking, what's actually making the player move? We'll have to look at the player thing. So the script is on start level. So what should happen is when I go to the title, this script should no longer be running. So it's a bit concerning. I think we will find that that's not the case. So I'm not going to fix it because it shouldn't actually happen. This should only, so this script here should automatically be stopped when we have that go to title when the game finishes. So we'll come back to that as another issue. That's a thing. The thing we want to do is we want to be able to be hit by a bullet and to die. And so this is slightly more complicated than when the enemy dies, but not too much. When the enemy dies, they turn into an explosion and then they disappear. So we've got this here on start level. So this is the code that's continually to go through. I got to change. I don't know what I'm going to change this keyword to. I'm going to chuck in. Yeah, we'll come back to it. There's a lot of thought about what kind of keywords you should use for each thing. Let me just say end. No, end doesn't work. end frame, pass on, I don't know. I can't use pass and I can't use yield because they're keywords in other languages. So we will come down, and this is what happens if we're touching a player bullet. But on the other hand, so we'll look at our enemy bullet. So we've got in our player bullet the script that will give us a hint. So in here, when it's constructed, if we're touching the enemy, we print out touching the enemy, and then we have our die count be greater than 3. So for 3 counts of a frame, we could do this many other ways, I think. And in fact, I'm kind of thinking, why would you do it this way? Why would you just not say, oh, because I wanted the bullets to continue moving. That's right, for 3 more frames. So that's why that happened. So anyway, we will have a look at enemy bullet. And what have we got in here? So if touching player 1. So we do actually have the code there. Let's just see if that actually works. Start the game. I got to get hit by a bullet. Hello. Well, first off, that's touching enemy, touching bullet. Okay. If it's touching player 1. So did I not set up the colliders for the bullet? Now that's interesting. That's very interesting. So that's another bug. Cloning does not appear. That's a bug that I can fix before the end of the day. I've got my piece of paper. Cloning does not appear to copy across the colliders. Or did I forget to change that? So I'm just going to write that. Colliders in cloning. Alright, so there's no collider, so we'll add in a circle collider. It's just always too big. And we'll put it down to the middle, and we'll move it to match the bullet. That's close enough. Alright, so now we'll try it again. We should probably start in the game. Oh, here we go, touching player. So the bullet now knows how to touch the player. Okay, it's fine, we're almost there. And then we go back to the player. And we'll actually steal the code from here. Player bullet. No, I want the enemy. So the enemy has 2 separate movement things. On the start level, while in game, wait time. I feel like I was going to check this more often. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is the code that's doing the actual checking whether or not the enemy has hit the bullet. So we will, did I actually name this correctly? Enemy bullet. Okay. All I really need is while in game. We could play with that. So anyway, back here on the start start level. So the one thing we don't have to do going back over the code that I did beforehand. The enemy doesn't move every frame, so I needed to have a separate event to monitor the collisions because the collisions needed to be checked every frame. But the player is moving every frame, so I can get rid of some of that. I can get rid of the while in game stuff because that's already there. And we don't need start level, so this is the code. So we only actually need this bit here. We don't have an explosion image, so we've got this EXP here. So we've got a costumes. We're going to have to create a new one, and this one's going to be my explosion. So are these roughly the same? Oh yeah, they do roughly fit in that box. We will do this with circles. So we'll do, oh, I want filled. That's alright, we'll just stick with that. So we'll go eh, 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 eh. And another one there, and then another one there, and we'll do that, and we'll drag that to there, and then we'll sort of get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and that, and that, and that. Alright, so that's my explosion. that's a work of art. We could animate it, we could have some multiple frames. But that's what our little explosion is going to look like, and we're gonna change that one to be exp2. They could be exp1, doesn't really matter. Use, and then down here, oh, I used the capital letter, so we'll have to go back. That one there. That should be a lowercase e. And back to my scripts. So first off, we're not touching the player bullet. That would be bad. Enemy bullet. That would be good. Switch. Touching bullet. Alright, we will wait. But we won't do that. And we'll player count, and then we will wait. We won't delete it. We won't do that. We'll go hide. Wait another 0.3 of a second. Show. Player count minus equal 1, and we won't delete. Players left. Player count. So basically what will happen is we will, when we touch the enemy bullet, we will switch to the explosion effect. We will wait 0.2 of a second. We will hide ourselves so we won't be able to see that we're in an explosion. Then we will wait 0.3 of a second so we won't be visible. Then we will show ourselves and we will be back in the game. And we have this players count thing which we are going to change, which doesn't exist yet. So why did I have enemies count and players? Enemies remaining. Enemy count, enemies remaining. I've got to make my mind up here, don't I? So does that one actually get used? I don't think so. So we can get rid of that one. We've got enemies count, and we've got player count. It was 3. So we'll start with 3. Do setup wave. Start in-game scene. First thing we will do is we'll go player count equals 3. So this is starting the game. We're going to have 3 players, and we're going to go in-game. Alright. And then we're going to go back to our scripts. Did I call it player count or did I call it players count? The answer is player count. Okay. Does that work? There are errors. Dun, dun, dun. My index. This doesn't have an index. Alright. That's what you get when you copy and paste code. Player touching bullet. Alright, so start the game and... Alright, oh, missed. Oh, I exploded! And then I'm back on the screen again. Slight problem, of course, as you can see. And it should have said enemies left. Let's get hit again. Oh, we can't get hit because this is the nice thing where I think we're going to have a problem with the export. is that the explosion doesn't have a collision box, so you know that it can't collide with anything. We can fix the first problem. We can go frames dot what's it called? Ship. We go back to here. Frames dot ship. Switch. Alright, so we'll be back in the game. Let's just do it one more time. And then we'll go do. Oh, almost got hit. Oh, come here. Gotcha. Alright, back in the game. And oh, we got hit again. We're back in the game. Oh, we got hit again. Back in the game. Right. So one thing we want to do is if the player count goes down to 0, we want to finish the game. So we're going to quickly make a little scene. We're going to make a new scene, and we're going to call this scene end game, and we'll call it end. So not say alphabet, it should say end game scene. It should say alphabet and number. Hey, but scene variable wrong message, and you can put in a few other characters. We have to go back to our stage, our scripts, costumes. So that really should be the stars. New end screen. End screen. Fine. Alright. End screen. So we'll come out and we will fill it with a color which we choose. We're going to use, so this now actually works as a little palette selector. The first 16 here are the Commodore 64 colors, and I think the second 16 are EGA or CGA colors. EGA from the good old days of computers. And we're going to make this as tacky as we possibly can. So I'm going to drag and put that over there. And then I'm going to make some text. And we're going to put the game is end. Alright, and 40, 50. Interesting. Alright, another little bug. Text not update. Update on style change. Alright, the game is end. And we'll keep it at that. Okay. I feel like this should actually be a title screen. So we'll put the text in here. So I think we'll have to go back and we'll have to go base attack game, and it's in red. 50, 40, not pixel art. Okay. Probably should have done the background first, shouldn't I? Oh well, too late. Well, that's going to have anti-aliasing, so what we will do is we will in fact do the background, and we will choose brown, and then we'll fill the that's exactly what I want. And then we'll do another bit of text, and we'll come down and we'll call it by person, and we will need a different color. white, use. Okay, this doesn't update for all style changes, so that's nice. And we will make that 60. Oh, my keyboard. I can't write 6s. Can I write 7s? Yes. I have a split keyboard, and every so often the middle cable acts a bit funny, and some of the keys don't show up. That looks horrendous. I love it. Okay. And cool. So we will go down to here. We're fixing up all my stages. So first off, start background is that. And we're going to move. Yeah, who cares? And we're going to go here, and we're going to choose my in-game. Which is not changing. Oh no, it is changing. We just haven't changed the background. So that's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. And the end game is going to look like the game is end. And so we're almost there. So we will do this quickly and hacky, I think, because we're running out of time to do this. If stage.player count equals less than or equals 0. You don't have to write less than or equals 0. It's just that I always do that just in case there's a bug in there somewhere, and it's like, well, you can catch it. Like if somehow I managed to get player count to be -1 and I just set that equals 0, then you'd go on forever and ever and ever because it would keep going negative. But if you do this, then you can catch some case where you made a mistake somewhere else. That could be a bad thing. You may in fact want to catch a case where you make a mistake somewhere else, which is what you normally want to do when coding. But who cares today? And we're going to go to end screen. Else. We will stop. Just in case what we're doing. And so basically this will start off. We could actually well, this is the start of the level, so we were going to have multiple levels, but I've run out of energy to care about that, so we'll see how this goes. And we've got an error. End screen. The variable end screen can't be found. So what did I call this game? End game scene. Why would I do that? We'll just make it easy. End screen. Alright, try again. Alright, space attack game by person. And we're doing this. Oh my gosh, the graphics are too amazing. I'm afraid I might end up winning an award for this. Okay, so we're doing this. We've still got one last thing to do, of course, which is if you actually finish the level, what happens? You can't just having it go back to the title screen. Oh, I need a bullet. Shoot me! Shoot me! Oh, we're also going to have like a little thing telling you how many players you've got left. Oh my gosh! Come here! Come here! Give me a bullet! All right, blew up. And players left 1. Come. Gotcha. The game is end. All right, and you can't actually do anything. That's fine. So we need another scene. We need you win scene. So we go to the scene list, new scene. Oh, that was interesting, wasn't it? Why did it go straight to the thing? Ooh, interesting. Okay, another thing. New scene. Sometimes selects scene. So that's a few bugs. Alright, we can ignore scene number 4. We'll go here and we will go back to costumes in here, and we will create a new costume, And this one we will again fill with another exciting Commodore 64 style background color, and I'm going to go with the purple. Use and fill, and then we're going to try and draw some pretty pictures. Use, and that one's going to be black. Use, like that. Why does that show up like? Oh, right. Okay. We're not going to do that. We're going to do that. Alright, so we're going to draw. I want that to be way thicker. Alright, so this is going to be a cloud, as you can tell. And what we should have done, but it's too late now, is that one. Alright, that's my in-game cloud, because you have to have an in-game cloud. And then we're going to have some text. U is one games game. U is one gamed. Alright. And we will go 40, 50. We will change that to black. 40, 400. U is one game. I really want it to fit though. Gotta keep with the professional look of this thing. Not pixel art. Can't rotate the text yet, which is a big issue that we will come to. What has happened? Alright, I think it needs to be a slightly thinner outline. Alright, and maybe the middle color can be a yellow. This is kind of annoying that you have to move it around to get the color to change. Alright, US one game. That sounds good. So now we have that. We can win screen, win image, and win background. Alright, and so we'll go here, win game scene. This should really be the description of the scene. Win screen, ha ha ha. Choose the background, win backdrop. Alright, and it will change when I click there. So now we have to change one thing, which is two things. So, where's the code that checks how many bullets are left? Go to end scene. Win screen. Okay, that's the end screen. Maybe we should just call that die screen. Alright, and I want the scripts. Okay, go to win screen. Okay. So I think this kind of works. We've just got one more thing to do. So I have to kind of win this one. Oop. I can do this. And I'm a pro at this game. What if I haven't been recording this? I don't. Ah, you is one gamed. That's nice to know. Okay, we're doing that. So, last thing to do before we quickly is we're going to create a new sprite, and that sprite is going to be the score sprite. So, clicking on... So, the sprite works fine. If I add more than 5 things, it's not jumping around. Score, display... so we're going to call that score. Alright. And then we're going to look at my costumes, and we have a white square, which is pretty boring. So we will clear image. And then we're going to create a variety of text things. Alright, so that's a problem. Okay. We're just going to go, how should we do this? Like, if we were being clever, we would draw, like, some shapes. So, instead of drawing enemies, I'm going to draw some circles. Fill them in. That's quite large though. Alright, so 1. So this is going to be what should we call it? Score. Score thing. Just use score, who cares? And it needs a name. It's not score though, so what are we talking about? This isn't even the, why did I call it score display? It's player display. Okay, players. Alright, this is 1 left, and then we're going to create a new one, and another one. This is going to be 2 left, and this is 3 left, and then this one is going to be, alright, we're going to see if we can copy and paste. Because we haven't actually tried that. So copy, paste, not working. Why did it not copy and paste? That's exactly what I don't need. Okay, copy and paste, not work. What if I copy and what if I paste it here? No, it did not. What have I got here? Exception. Alright, that's not what I want. So let's just try that one more time. Because it did used to work, like literally not that long ago. Why does it not work? Okay, well that's fine. We'll just have to come back to that. So this one, so we've got copy paste doesn't work. When it certainly did before. 1, 2, and then we're going to go here. It's a shame it doesn't remember the last one, but I think I'd made a conscious decision not to do that, and now I totally regret that. 1, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now we have 3. And in game, we are going to drag this up into the top. And go down to the scripts, on start level, forever set players.switch, and then we're going to go stage player count. If player count is greater than 0, do that. Else hide, and we'll just stop the script. Okay. So let's just see what will happen when we run this. What is it doing? Why did the switch not work? Alright, hold on, hold up. It's pretty hard to not die in this. Okay, we're going to shoot way more often to make this game harder. Okay, now it shows 3, now it shows 2, now it shows... Well, that's hysterically funny. So I think that should be -1. That makes sense. So, yeah, this is... So when you use the switch command, it takes an offset from that thing, starting at 0. So I basically want it, when there is the player count is 1, I want it to be to the players sprite, because that's the name of that variable, is players. And if its player count is 2, I want it to be offset by 1, which will give me the next costume down. And then if player count is 3, I want it to be offset by 2, which will get me this one here. So I'll just try it now. And so now we've got 3, and if we get shot at some point, whoa, then we'll go down to 2, and when we get shot again, it will go down to 1, and that looks like that works. All right, fine. So what do we need to do? We need to make this game slightly challenging, and then we're done. So now we're going to try player speed, fire temp. What's this fire temp? I don't remember. So stage, it will be in the enemies. The scripts for shooting a bullet. Stage enemy fire probability. Alright, so we could make this enemy fire probability 0.01. We'll make that quite high, 0.04. Is this game doable? Yeah, almost certainly it is. I think we're gonna win this. We better play one game to win it, and then we will do an export. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Am I gonna win this game? Almost certainly. Oops. You is one gamed. Alright, so game is done. Now we're gonna do the whole thing again. We're gonna run to the exporters. So first thing we will do, we will create a web exporter. I have to get Chromium running. Hold on. Chromium web browser. The only reason I'm running Chromium is because simple. I have to expand this out a bit. Target folder. I might just move over here for a second. Browse. We're going to call this. What will we call it? We will call it space. No, hold on, that can just show up there. Space Invader. All right, open. Okay. So don't worry about these things. So we've got an exporter for our Space Invaders game. It's in this folder here. I'm going to run the exporter. And then I am going to pause. Alright, I just paused the recording briefly just to make sure. I don't want to reveal information about my computer more than is needed. Which is going to be hard given that I've got status bar, menu bar. Uh-oh. Alright, hold on a second. Alright, here we go. Here's the folder that we've created. Where's my version of Chromium? So this is Chromium. Not doing anything. So we created this project and it's created this index.html. Is it going to work? Project by me, Matthew. Alright, there's our game. Does it actually play? No, it doesn't. Alright, so for some reason it don't work. But we got that far. So, well, we'll work that one out. So we've got that doesn't work, but let's try the Scratch one. Okay, browse. I think we're going to have to break the terms and conditions. Oh, I've just gone and showed a whole lot of stuff. What am I going to call it? Where did I put it? Alright, and then we'll call it space save. Alright, so we're putting it in the same folder we did it beforehand, and we're going to run that exporter, and it's going to say, hold on, I'm just checking the output. And the console says Scratch export successful. Well, that's nice to know. And there is my thing. So how am I going to do this? Alright, hold on a second. MIT.Scratch. What? Oh, right. Scratch. MIT. Okay, this is Scratch. Alright, so that's what Scratch looks like. And we are going to go create. We're going to break the terms and conditions. But I think when you load it and you're not logged in, it's not saving it on their servers. So I don't think this should be too bad of a problem. Any second now. Okay, hold on one little second. File, load from my computer. And we are going to go to here, and we're going to load it, and it's not going to show you it. There we go. So it's loaded it in. Is it going to work? Well, that part works. So we've got all of this part working. So start game. Oh my gosh. Interesting. What just happened? All right. Sounds work, the game works. We've got one slight little problem. It's shooting a lot of bullets. So that's hysterically funny. So the scratch export almost completely works, but it doesn't quite work. It's just way, way, way too hard. But you can see that it does some weird things, like when you start as a clone. If we look at the actual stage code, we have to clean up the blocks. You'll see there's a lot of mostly direct translations, but you'll see there's a lot of weird little things with dollar signs in it. This is how it's implementing the scene material and all of that. Anyway, thanks for watching that, and yeah, I will go on and fix the hysterically annoying number of bugs. We've got scene variable, wrong message. We've got colliders not cleaning. We've got text not updating on style changes. We've got new scene sometimes automatically selects the scene, and copy and paste not working, and HTML export not working, and we've got scratch export has a very funny relationship with random numbers, and I think we can probably quickly look at the code for what it's actually doing. So if we look under the scripts here, so the line is going to be something to do with this. So I've got this random number here, and if we look at enemy cleanup blocks, oh, that's very weird. What the? How does this even work? I'm a little confused. In the scratch thing, there isn't any code. Define warhead. When we start as a clone. That's the enemy, right? But why is the enemy? The enemy has a lot of code here, and there is no code. How does this even work? What is happening here? It says delete 8 blocks. Well, it doesn't show the 8 blocks. Okay, maybe we can't, because I honestly don't know where the code is. So there's a whole lot of code in here. Oh, it means 8 blocks. All right, okay. But I'm pretty sure we all saw this was actually running. And now it's not running. Ooh, interesting. I think it deleted them. Interesting. I don't think it likes my scratch code. Alright, thanks for watching, and bye.